I want to give you some background information on the Hall of Fame, since it is brand new. The mission statement is to recognize and honor the exceptional athletes, coaches, and teams that have contributed to the success of Sanger High School and the community. This is the inaugural year, 20 inductees. Sanger High School athletic history records dating back to the high school's founding in 1899. There's a lot of people that are going to be inducted in the years to come. A lot of people that you're getting reacquainted with. It's going to be a great evening, and I'm just honored to be in front of you today to just have a small part of it. So thank you very much.
Let's bow our heads and pray. Father, we come to you tonight, athletes in this room who you have created. You are the creator of all things, and so we thank you tonight for what you have done here in Sanger. And so we lift up to you all the inductees. We thank you. I ask a special blessing on each family, everybody that's here tonight, and especially for the food that we're about to eat. Jesus, we pray this in your name alone. Amen.
Not only is this the first ever Athletic Hall of Fame induction for Sanger, but it includes, in my opinion, one of the most highly acclaimed group of inductees that any city could honor. Tonight's event is going to be one of the greatest inductions in Sanger history. Not only is it the first, but when you realize the contributions of the coaches and athletes and the collection of sports history, it's impossible to not be amazed. I would also be remiss if I didn't add that in addition to the 20 incredible inductees tonight, we are inducting one of the greatest sports legends in NFL history, Mr. Tom Flores.
Joined the Patriots, his goal was to work his way up to a 45-yard punting average. But the combination of a strained back muscle and the Patriots not really having to punt very often in those days made that goal unreachable. His 55 punts in 73 is the second lowest number of punts in a season in the club's history. Bruce spent a couple of seasons with the Patriots, but he was quoted as saying just a few years ago that he does have some allegiance to the Patriots, although he would tend to root for the Raiders before the Patriots.
Congratulations to all the other inductees, and special thanks to the nominating committee for this great honor. Anyway, we'll get down to business. I was looking at our yearbook. For some reason, I ran into the yearbook right after Tom Nicholson called me and stuff. And I opened it up, and I was talking to Jim and Fred Merlo about it earlier, and I said, you know, I looked at it and I read the stuff and all that, and I said, damn, we were good. And they both agreed we were. We weren't just good. We were damn good. And so we ended up 11-1 that year. We should have won the one from Clovis, but that got away. And but we went, and then we won the ESL League, and we won the ESL divisional title, which I think may have been the first time in Sanger's history and stuff. And I was looking at some of the stats. I'm going quick because they said I only had 2 minutes. Anyway, we scored 268 points to our opponent's 50. That equals out to us scoring 22 points and then 4 points a game. Fred Merlo and I mentioned that earlier, that we were the 2 defensive ends. And our job was, don't even mess with going inside or whatever. You go outside, you do not let them go outside. We turned them back. We had Big Gene Branch, these guys in the middle, and you had Jim Merlo and his linebacking crew, and we crushed it. We just didn't beat them, we beat the hell out of them.
After the regular football season ended, Coach Boone was just getting started. He coached the county team to a victory in the Fresno City County All-Star Game, and another team to a win in the Kern County All-Star Game. The next year, a J.R. Boone coach team played in a tie in the Los Angeles North-South Shrine Game.
Well, but I do want to talk a little bit about my dad. This is Dad's 5th Hall of Fame award. He would say that this award tonight from Sanger Apaches would be his most meaningful, because this is where Dad, he was an assistant coach at Selma High School. Coach Cropsey was his coach. He went to Lindsay and was very successful there. And then he was lucky enough to get a call from Sanger. And that's where his career just took off.
He played on the 1998 Valley Championship team, graduated from Sanger High School in 1999. He accounted for 2,517 rushing yards and 38 touchdowns as a senior. 5 of those touchdowns came during one game. Herman was the CIF Co-Player of the Year, All-Fresno B and All-League pick as a junior and senior. He ran for 210 yards and 2 touchdowns, including the game winner, as Sanger upended previously unbeaten Edison for the CIF Central Section title. He had 44 touchdowns in his career, 2859 career rushing yards.
That's it really much, but thank you everybody. Thanks, Sanger.
He said, of all the honors he received, the most prized was the naming of the Sanger High School baseball diamond, Dayton Field. Huntley Dayton coached at Sanger High School from 1926 to 1925, and what a coach he was. His teams won 5 football championships, 12 basketball championships, and 11 baseball championships. Thomas R. Flores, a 1954 Sanger High graduate, captained the Apache football, basketball, and baseball teams in his senior year, and he was named Sanger High School Athlete of the Year. He was an honorable mention All-American quarterback at Fresno City College. Then when he went on to play football at College of the Pacific, he broke most of the passing and the scoring records set by the legendary Eddie LeBaron. In addition, Tom was an academic All-American. After college, Tom had a cup of coffee with the Calgary Stampeders in 1959, a season that was cut short for Tom by a shoulder injury. In 1960, he signed with the Oakland Raiders in the newly formed American Football League. During his 6 seasons as a Raider quarterback, Tom completed 810 passes for almost 12,000 yards and 92 touchdowns. Tom played a couple more seasons with the Bills and the Kansas City Chiefs. He quarterbacked the Chiefs to the Super Bowl in 1969. Tom was named head coach of the Raiders in 1979, and he led the Raiders to Super Bowl titles in 1980 and 1982. He was named NFL Coach of the Year in 1982. In 1988, he deservedly received the NFL Life Achievement Award and numerous other accolades for his humanitarian work. Please welcome homegrown hero Tom Flores to the Sanger High School Athletic Hall of Fame.
Thank you. This is a great moment in my life, coming home. Went to Wilson School, which was about around the corner from here. Taft Junior High, which is where the Hall of Fame is going to go, right across the street. And then on to Sanger High School, where fortunately I have, and very honorably, I have a stadium after me. So I'm here. I'm still here. I'll be here long. You're not going to get rid of me. Almost got rid of myself. I had a little fall, but everything. Growing up in Sanger was a great experience because you went everywhere. You knew by walking, running your bike. Didn't matter what time of day it was. I worked at the theater and changed the marquee every night at midnight and then walked home. And got up and went to school the next day. Didn't have to worry about walking in the dark. And you knew everybody. And I still know people that come up to me and say, I'm from Sanger, or I graduated from the high school with your name on the stadium. And it's just a neat feeling to come home. And wish my mom and dad were here, my brother, but unfortunately we have to move on in time. Playing football, you know, this high school had 3 guys in the NFL. 4, Bill Herron played in Canada, and I'm talking about students. Very rare for that to happen for a little school of our size. And proudly we wear the, I'm surprised that jacket fit.
Like a glove.
I can't even find my jacket. I think it's... But it's every time something comes up about Sanger, I'm very proud about it. Nobody knows where it is, really. But when I joined the Raiders in 60, excuse me, when I joined the Raiders in 60, nobody knew where Oakland was. So I was kind of used to coming from a place nobody knew where it was. But we made our mark. I was fortunate enough to make a mark myself, and very fortunate to get 4 of these rings at the right time at the right place, I guess. I'm very fortunate to have been married to my wife for 56 years. 57. Long time. Very proud of that. And I'm very proud to be a Sangerite because there's no place like it. Sanger is home. Thank you.
As a child, I had a dream. I dreamed that one day I would be a Sanger Apache. One day I would play in the Rose Bowl, and one day play in the NFL. Well, because of a lot of help, and it's a village to raise me and to develop me. So, first of all, I want to thank my family. I grew up in a 3-bedroom, 1-bath, 5 kids, and 1,100 square foot home. And it was a mess. So I want to thank my family. My mom, always nervous. My dad, never nervous. My sister here, Carla, she's here. And she always said she could outrun me. I think she ran a 4.6. Anyway, I want to thank my coaches next. And a couple of them are here tonight. John Perkins is here. He's the one that put that 1968 team together. As Bruce talked about, my senior year as a football player is totally a dream. And thank you, Coach Perkins, for what you did. he did put 3 guys in Division I football and 2 in the NFL. The other coach is Jack Maddox over here. He coached me at Fresno City College. My freshman year there, we did win the state. We went down to Fullerton to play them at Angel Stadium, and we went out to warm up, and the fog came in. And I played center then, and I snapped the ball. They punted the ball, and they couldn't find it. It was so foggy. So they called the game, and we played the next day, and we beat Fullerton and won the state championship. Next, I want to thank my teammates, and there's some here. Mark Wilson, he played tight end for us on that team. Bobby Boone, who probably at every level I played, he was probably the toughest guy I ever been at every level. And the guy could barely crawl off the field, but he was back in it for the next play. Tough. The other one is Bruce Barnes. Boy, did we have fun with Bruce. We had a blast. In fact, he used to call me. He says, "Hey, let's double date today." I said, "I don't have a car. There's 7 of us in the family. We only have 1 car." He said, "Don't worry about it. I got it." So I jumped in the car with him, and we take our double dates, and we go out. Of course, he always had the pretty ones. And then Fred, my cousin, him and I did everything together. From Sanger High School, we went on to Fresno City. We won that state championship. When that state championship was over, we started working out. Fred always was 10 ahead of me. I don't care if it was 10 lifting weights, 10 on your grades, 10 pounds. He was always 10 pounds ahead of me.
A lot of familiar faces that encouraged me through all the years. I don't know everybody's name, but every time I see those faces, it reminds me of my high school years. I would like to thank the Hall of Fame committee for putting on this event. I'm very humble that you chose me to be included in this first group of inductees. I would like to take the opportunity to thank the people who believe in me and supported me during my running career. First of all, my mom and dad, gracias, muchas gracias por lo que hiciste todo con nosotros, toda mi familia. For bringing me in here in Sanger into this country, where I was able to have the opportunity to run. To the most influential person in my high school running career would be Coach Dave Dodson. Thank you for my training and believing in me as a runner. The trips that you took me out of state through the Sanger Striders Truck Club and to compete against other elite runners. This, I believe, that made me the faster because of all the types of competition that I was competing against. Also, Coach Dave, thank you for teaching me proper dining etiquette before all the races in your classroom. And I'm pretty sure some of our students remember that before our going out of town meets, he would teach us proper dining technique. I never been to a restaurant before, and you knew how important this lessons would be. This is a life lesson I appreciate from him. Sanger Herron. All those pictures that you see up there were from the Sanger Herron. I think that motivated me even more every time, all the way from the 7th grade up. That anytime something happened, something good happened in Sanger, the Sanger Herron was there to take pictures and to let the community know about the things that we were doing.
He was on the league championship 1936 football team and on the Fresno County Division III championship basketball teams in 1935 and 36. After Nick graduated, he enrolled at a little small private college in Moraga, California, St. Mary's.
Good evening, my name is Nick Taylor, and it's an honor to talk about my grandfather, Nick Katzemayer. His early life was just legendary as a young kid. So I knew he was a big-time football hero at Sanger High. He got a full-ride scholarship to St. Mary's, and then went on to play with the Gales, and they won the Cotton Bowl. And then he had a horrific hip injury and couldn't play anymore, but went on to coaching the Alhambra High School alumni football team. And then his career in coaching was interrupted by World War II. He was drafted into the Army and went to Normandy and went with the Army all the way to the defeat of Germany. But after that, my grandpa Nick, he got involved in scouting, and that's where his real impact began, was with the coaching and mentoring young people. He was a scoutmaster. My Uncle Bill was an Eagle Scout with the Scout Troop. And so coaching and mentoring young people was a very big part of his life. And I think we see that a lot in the coaches that are recognized here tonight. Coach Dayton, that was honored earlier. So when my grandfather's father died, when he was living in Centerville, they moved into town. So Coach Dayton became a second father to him and actually bought him his first suit so he could walk through graduation. So that's how I remember my grandfather, as a mentor to young people, and I'm very honored to accept this award for him tonight. Thank you.
As an Apache, Bill played football and basketball. His 1944 Apache football team was undefeated, and his 44-45 basketball team was so good, it's already been inducted into the Sanger Basketball Hall of Fame. Bill later received national fame as a California Golden Bear when he was mentioned in a story in Life magazine. In October of 1951, Bill set a Pac-12 record for the longest run from scrimmage, 98 yards and a touchdown against Oregon State. In the same month, that Life magazine story, with photos, featured Bill and his performance in a game against USC. The Golden Bears were ranked #1 going into that game, but they lost to USC 21-14. The men of USC were impersonating Murder Incorporated, the magazine story said. However, the story went on, the most shocking photo revealed, as the caption explained, a USC tackler taking a fist in the eye from California ball carrier Bill Powell, who was studying to become a minister.
Good morning. Just a minute. I'm glad to see you here, and one of the most wonderful things that happens in our educational system, pointing out that outstanding people. How else can you do any better than that? And I would like to say a little bit about myself, just a little bit, of course. And I've been in sports all my life, really. And I started here at the high school right here. I did have friends that really pushed me along, and one of those was Huntley Dayton, the coach. You probably remember Huntley Dayton. And in the meantime, I went ahead to go through college and had a few fine sports moments. And so I'm here to thank the committee for my ability to come and get your attention. So thank you very much to the committee. And I thank you very much for the idea of coming here tonight and seeing what others have done and also willing to do, and great to hear about what others have done. Thank you very much.
Coach Dean Nicholson. Coach, as everybody seemed to know him, was a man for all seasons and all sports. He was the first coach to be inducted into the Sanger High School Basketball Hall of Fame. As head coach, he had championship basketball teams in 1960, 63, 65, 66, and 68.
I think this is better than the Globe Awards. Gold Globe Awards. You know, our family has been so excited and privileged to have Dean in this class of the original Hall of Fame. Dean loved to coach. He loved every one of his players, and he loved being an Apache. And I have to say, when we first came to Sanger, Coach Clare Slaughter decided to put him as line coach in the football team. And Dean, I don't think, even got to weigh about 150. And he had that Cornhusker Johnny Carson voice. And here he was trying to coach these line coaches that were 200 better. Anyway, thank you, Ed, for having Clare initiate Dean in his coaching experience here at Sanger. He loved it. He loved it. And he loves all the coaches that he coached with, all the teachers that he taught with. You know, it was Tom that said it was hard to find Sanger, and it was hard for us to find Sanger when we came to Sanger. We couldn't find it on the map in Colorado. And so we've stayed here, we loved it, and we love all of you. Thank you for being here. It's just been a pleasure, and I know that Dean is rejoicing with us. He was a very humble man, and he would be proud to have something like this in his honor. We thank all of you.
After an early season Wenatchee Christmas tournament title, Renee and the Apaches were the team to beat in the North Yosemite League. Renee was usually the scoring and rebounding leader. She was also, according to her teammates, the inspirational leader. And in the 87-88 basketball season, she inspired that team to win the Lady Apaches' first Valley Championship. The team also hosted the Lady Apaches' first state playoff game. Renee led the team to 27 wins with only 7 losses during that remarkable season. Renee really wanted to be here this evening, but she wrote in an email, "We're celebrating a milestone birthday for my daughter who's turning 16. Renee continued, "I so wish I could be there because my time at Sanger High was such an amazing experience. I had so many great coaches that provided me with so many life lessons. Unfortunately, Coach Tanimoto made a negative impact on my skiing because he would never let me go skiing during basketball season, and later lettered in football and basketball at Fresno State. Lou graduated from Fresno State in 1951, and he came back to coach at Sanger High School before spending 35 years in the insurance business."
Well, I've known the Papac family since 1962. His older son, Bob, is one of my best buddies since 2nd grade. We played baseball together, Babe Ruth, high school baseball at Bullard. And Mr. Papac was always a very encouraging person. He helped coach our Babe Ruth team one year and just had a lot of funny stories and just a very humble man. Mrs. Papac, Betty, just turned 90. I talked to her the other day, and she said that she was going to Idaho to celebrate her birthday with her children, her grandchildren, and her great-grandchildren. She's a very sharp lady, and I told her I'd bring this back to her. So thanks for coming tonight.
Well, we're happy that Brian impressed Sasha with his clothes on, and we'll come back to that in a moment. A few years earlier, Brian impressed Apache fans in just his Speedo or his basketball uniform. Brian's legacy at Stanford is in the pool. Here in Sanger, we know him maybe more as a standout basketball player. Please join us in welcome the very impressive, talented, and unassuming Brian Wallin with his clothes on to the Sanger High School Athletic Hall of Fame.
Thank you for that introduction. You know, the Letterman jackets, you know, that came out, I told my kids I might wear my Speedo here today. You know, it's a business attire. That was my business here at Sanger, playing in the pool. They vetoed that idea, so I didn't. Thank you very much for this honor. It's been a wonderful evening, seeing so many familiar faces here that I have not seen in years, and it's been a very, very unique experience. In some ways, it's almost full circle. I probably played my first basketball game here in this gym, you know, 35, 40 years ago. I learned to swim in the pool next door, first swim meet there. You know, just a lot of great experiences here within the Sanger, city of Sanger. I really want to thank my parents for all the support over the years. Now that I have kids, I have both my kids here. My wife and I have a 12-year-old daughter, Kaylee, and an 8-year-old son, Chase. I really appreciate all the effort and sacrifice they put into getting myself and my brothers to practices and taking us, you know, on weekend trips for tournaments and swim meets. It's an exhausting thing, and you really begin to appreciate it as you're doing it for your kids. I also want to thank my teammates, my coaches, Del Bayshores here, John and Ryan Hannigan. You know, thanks for all the memories, all the support throughout my years at Sanger. Thank you very much, and have a nice evening.
For turning Sanger from a baseball to a football town. He coached two of this evening's other inductees at Sanger High School, Tom Flores and Gene Green, and another, Jim Merlo, at Fresno City College. Clare was all-conference in football and basketball in Porterville, where he went to high school and college. He was all-Far West Conference in football and basketball at College of the Pacific.
Good evening. I'm here, I'm Jeff Slaughter, his son. I'm here to accept this from my father. Anybody that knew him, there's a lot of people in this room that we've mentioned that know my dad and knew him, know that he was a man of few words. And I will honor him by doing the same. Thank you very much.
When Brent, a 2003 Sanger High School graduate, played football for the Apaches, he established all kinds of offensive records. All-time rushing yards, most touchdowns in one game, most all-time TDs, most TDs in one season, and in 5 games, he ran for more than 200 yards. In one game, he ran for 354 yards.
Thanks. From the skinny white kid, I thank everybody here. I ran into Ronnie Scott a few weeks back, and he didn't tell me about a speech being involved, so thanks, Ronnie, for the heads up. I appreciate it. So I'll be really quick, it's getting late. Just a few thank yous. First of all, George, thank you for hosting tonight. I don't know, you probably don't know that, but my first television interview was with you for one of the kind of the team of the weeks, and I think I froze like a deer in the headlights. So thank you for that. Or I apologize. And, yeah, I do. So thank you. And you're an honorary Apache, so thank you. Just a quick thank you to my family. Of course, it's here and not here. Special thank you to my grandfather. It means a lot that he made it here. A quick round of applause for him. I don't think he missed the game. And Ron, is good of a job you did keeping stats. As soon as we got done each game, we met on midfield there, and he would tell me down to the yard how many yards I had and how many carries and tackles. So, Grandpa, thank you for all your support and being here. So, they kind of go without naming, but the two coaches directly in the back there, Coach Shadan and Coach Pena, just obviously thank you for your support and your coaching and mentoring.
Atomic, a 1966 Sanger High grad, lettered all 4 years in football as an Apache. He was named the team's most valuable player in 1965 and was selected to play in the All-Valley All-Star game.
I'm Wyatt Torosion. I'm Atomic Torosion's son. And it's a great honor of my life to be able to accept this award on his behalf. We lost my dad last year, and one of his biggest regrets was that he was not able to attend his 50th high school reunion as a Sanger Apache. He loved this school and this town very much, and the history of this town is the history of our family. We have my dad's brother, my uncle Ted Torosion, in the audience tonight. Outstanding athlete in his own right, and in his own mind as well. His brother, Max Torosion, who couldn't make it here tonight, also an outstanding athlete, and the rest of the Torosion family.
Inside source that did not tell me I had to speak tonight either, so here it goes. I want to thank the committee for nominating me. I'm very honored and humbled to be with all these amazing athletes tonight. Students of mine, like Herman Cooks, that I had and watched some of these athletes play through the years and just had idoled a lot of these athletes tonight. I feel very honored. I am a coach myself, and I'm a math teacher. Mr. Nicholson had a big impact on me, and Houshaw's here, and Mr. Dietz is here, and that's a big reason why I became a math teacher. I became a coach to be like Roy Tanemoto.
Sorry, just a second more. As soon as Mike gets it. I got video. Okay.